how beautiful it is to know, how amazing it is to know that spirit does move. Spirit moves through those spaces, the unseen, the visible and the invisible. We know that that magnificent joy and love and power and grace, that is the divine, that is God, that is, call it by so many names: love, joy, peace, nature, spirit, intelligence, divine essence. All of it is God, and all of that is contained right here in this moment, in every breath and every snowflake. We breathe that in, and we know that we are blessed. We know that this day is blessed. We know that the words that speak through Reverend Jenny this morning is such a blessing to each of us, that it awakens something within us. It opens our hearts even more as we walk this earthly walk. Each of us, I know that we are supported, that we are held, that we are enlivened with this spirit. This spirit moves through us. And how grateful we are to know this truth, to affirm this truth, to declare this truth in this moment and in every moment. And so with that, we let this go. We trust, and we just say, thank you, Spirit. Thank you for the snow. Thank you for this beloved day. Thank you for the blessings that are raining down upon my life. For I know and declare right here, right now, that I am blessed. I know that we are blessed. I know that this beloved community is blessed. And so with that, we affirm together by saying, and so it is.
Oh, good morning, everyone. This is a song by J.D. Martin that Reverend Jenny wanted to tell me is one of her favorite songs. I like it a lot as well. It's called One Heart. There's a new world on the horizon, made of light, not of stone, calling out to all creation, you are not alone. Lions and lambs, saints and sinners, best of friends, enemies, woman and man, losers and winners, they're all in you and me. We are one heart. Sorry. Looking for answers, we are one soul, finding our way through the dark. One dream we share together, we are all a part of one heart. Out in the cold, there are faces hidden by the wind and the rain. Hold out your hand, someone will take it and bring you home again. We are one heart, looking for answers. We are one soul, finding our way through the dark. One dream we share together, yes, we are all a part of one heart. Around the world tonight, all the fires are burning, tears are falling from the sky. Still the world keeps turning. We are one heart, one soul. one dream we share together. Yes, we are all a part. And we are one heart looking for answers. We are one soul finding our way through the dark. One dream we share together. Yes, we are all part of one heart. We are all the same. We are all part of one soul. We're one but not the same. Oh, yes, we're one heart.
Thank you, Jimmy. I love that song. I think it's a beautiful song. Let's just start by harmonizing our hearts like we do every week. So just take 3 deep breaths. And just repeat with me as you continue to breathe. Care, appreciation, gratitude, compassion. Care, appreciation, gratitude, compassion. Care, appreciation, gratitude, compassion. We say these words every week because they anchor these concepts, these sentiments in our minds and in our hearts, so that we can take them forward into our days ahead and remember this moment, the deep breath, the release, and the gratitude for what these words mean. So welcome once again to the last Sunday in October. As many of you know, we expected to be outside in our backyard doing another outdoor service today, but we canceled that due to the forecast of snow. And, I must say that as disappointed as I am not to be together in person today, I am so grateful for this snow. I am thrilled, I am relieved, and I am just so grateful to trust that this is helping to put out our fires. And so that makes it worth the sacrifice today. Now, as it's the last Sunday of October, today we're going to wrap up our monthly theme of cosmic connections. Now, as I was thinking about cosmic connections this week, I thought a lot about what that theme meant to me, what it's meant to me. And really what kept coming up is just how interconnected we are with all of life and everything that it takes to keep those connections strong and thriving. Because it's really a strong connection to life with a capital L that sustains us when we're faced like challenges like we are in these times. And I don't know about you, but I sure am finding life with a lowercase l, this human experience that I'm having, more than a little challenging right now. Between the pandemic, all the hoopla around the election, and the fires here in Colorado, it's really been a struggle to maintain a strong sense of joy and of optimism. And so let me just say that if you're struggling, I'm right there in the trenches with you. I know that this struggle is real. Now, writing coaches often tell people who want to write something to write what you know or write what you need to know. And so this morning's talk is really as much for me as it is hopefully for you. It's really going to be about how we maintain strong connections to keep ourselves healthy and functioning at our best. Because I think that through all this chaos and uncertainty, we're being called to a higher place. We're being asked to build and maintain bridges and connections to our higher consciousness, where we remember that God is our good and that our good is God. Good is our truth, and we're better off when we maintain an open connection to it. Now, every connection is really a cosmic connection, isn't it? Because we are all part of the divine. But I really felt like there were three important connections that we needed to talk about today. And that was our connections to ourselves, our connections to others, and of course, our connections to spirit. Now, our connection to ourselves is really vital in creating and sustaining our best lives. In New Thought, we teach that we can change our thinking to change our lives. We teach that it's our thoughts that create our experience. So we need to know and understand who we are and what we believe so that we can direct our thoughts and emotions into the best channels for creating the experiences we want to live through. Of course, we don't get to control all of the experiences that come up in our lives, natural disasters like the fires and the pandemic being good examples. But we are 100% responsible for how we react to these experiences that we are faced with. We can keep our connections strong and keep our minds in alignment with our good, or we can let tumultuous thinking take us down the whirlpool of despair. Either way, it's our choice. Either way, our experiences are the mirrors of our minds. A friend of mine said this week that my calm calms the water. And in that same sense, my peace brings peace. And my despair brings despair. It's our choice. We control our thoughts, and our thoughts have such immense influence on how we experience our lives. So in order to remain aligned with our highest good, we take care of our thoughts, our minds, and ourselves in the best ways possible. We exercise in whatever way feels good to our bodies. Now, I like to go for walks with my dog and with some music on my phone. I try to appreciate whatever beauty I can find in the nature around me. Maybe we take a warm bath and let that water just wash away all the cares and the stress. Maybe we sing, dance, bake, or paint our cares away. We eat foods that nourish us, keeping everything in balance. Now, I know when this started, I really was hoping that ice cream would do that for me. But what I've realized over this last 7 months is that ice cream doesn't really make me feel my best. So I eat a little bit every now and then, but mostly I concentrate on eating healthier foods that really nourish my body and my mind. And really, it's so important to get enough rest. Not just enough sleep, but enough rest. To take time each day to retreat from the cares of the moment. Maybe we get a good book with a cup of tea. Maybe we go for another walk. I don't know what feels good to you, but just take that moment to let your mind and your body rest. It's also really important to take care of our connections to each other, isn't it? Now, I know you've heard us say time and time again from up here that we are all connected, but it's such a vital realization to pay attention to. When I was thinking over this week's topic, the idea of Indra's net popped into my mind, and I think it's such a beautiful way to think of our connections to each other. Now, do you know what I mean when I talk about Indra's net? In Hinduism, there's this story where it's said that far away in the heavenly abode of the great god Indra, there is a wonderful net which stretches out infinitely in all directions. At each intersection of the net, there is a single glittering jewel, and they hang there, where each strand crosses another, glittering like stars. Each jewel is reflected in all the other jewels in the net, infinite in number, so that there is infinite reflection. Isn't that a lovely image? Now, maybe that won't do it for you. And if that doesn't, then, I don't know, think of a spider web with dewdrops on it. At every place where the strands of the web cross, a drop of morning dew hangs glistening like a diamond. Sunlight reflecting through each drop, magnifying the light and making the dewdrops sparkle and shine. These two mental pictures, I think, are just such beautiful illustrations of how we are all interconnected to each other and to all of life. The light that shines through each dewdrop or jewel represents the light that shines within each one of us, reflecting off of each other and creating a brighter illumination of that light such that it shines out like a lighthouse beacon. We need each other to shine our light more brightly and to bask in the light of others. Especially in times like these, we need to keep our connections to each other strong, to let others know that they're cared for, that we see and hear what they're going through. And so we call, we text, or we even write our friends and family, whatever it takes to keep in touch, to let another person get a glimpse into what we're feeling and thinking, and to give them that same gift, because we really are one heart, as Jimmy sang about earlier. Now, at the core of maintaining bridges that last is to keep our connection to spirit strong and ever at hand. Remember earlier when I said that God is our good and our good is God? Well, God, or good, is really our highest truth, and we have to maintain an open connection to it. I like to think of this connection sometimes as a telephone line, and I entertain myself sometimes by beginning my prayer time by imitating Lily Tomlin's character Ernestine and saying, "One ringy-dingy." And in that laughter, I feel myself drop into my sacred connection with spirit. We can also think of this connection to spirit as a bridge. Every time we cross that bridge between our human mind and universal mind, we make that connection. But however we think of it, it really is this bridge, this connection, which ultimately sustains us no matter what is happening in our human experience. I was talking with a friend yesterday. She's an active member at a local Presbyterian church. And when we get together, we often talk about what our respective communities are doing in the world, how they're handling COVID, I don't know, even how different theologies affect the world that we live in. And she kind of jokingly said that with everything going on, she and her husband had been wondering if God really exists. Now, we laughed, but I know that underneath we were both kind of wondering if that's true. And then I had to remind myself that God isn't some magic being making all of this happen, or even worse, making it happen and then not making it better. But in times like these, it's easy not only to question whether God loves us, but whether God, whatever that word means to you, really does exist. But here's the thing. We're called to lean into a higher faith, a deeper faith. I know we can't see what's ahead of us, and I know that the struggle of not having any anchors to latch onto so that we can begin to even know how to move forward creates. But I also believe with every fiber and neuron of my being that the divine is right where we are in every moment of our experience. And even though we can't see it, I know that spirit is in, around, and acts through each one of us. Remember that scene in the Indiana Jones Last Crusade movie where in order to reach the Holy Grail, he has to cross a supposedly uncrossable chasm? He looks down and he doesn't see any way across this deep, deep cavern. But he calls it a leap of faith. And his father, played in the movie by the incomparable Sean Connery, tells him, "You must believe, my boy, you must believe." Well, belief and faith, I mean, there's a whole talk just in those two ideas. But suffice it to say today that belief and faith go hand in hand. Indy had to have faith in the unseen and to believe that he would be supported in his efforts to reach the Holy Grail. And so he took a deep breath and he took that first tentative step out. And what happened? An invisible bridge appeared beneath him, supporting him all the way across the uncrossable chasm to where he finally reached the Holy Grail. It seems right now that maybe we're faced with an ever-widening, uncrossable chasm. But I know that if we lean into our faith, into our higher consciousness, and believe in it, that we will find ourselves always supported by that by that invisible bridge that is spirit, so that we can reach our Holy Grail. lives that express the highest good of God, lives that are filled with peace, with joy, and with love. We can be like Indy. And as someone recently said to me, know that the bridge unfolds as I take the first step. Indy's bridge, though invisible, is strong. It's stable and it's safe. We want our bridge to spirit to be just as strong. It's this bridge, spirit. Spirit is our bridge. It's this bridge that supports us when times are challenging. So we need to do whatever we can to make sure that our relationship with it is as strong and as readily available as possible. We don't even need to build this bridge because it's there all the time, enduring throughout every challenge or celebration of our lives. That's our divine birthright, is to have this connection to our higher power, our divine spirit, that God, that force. And it's just waiting for us to access it. The way we access it is to do our spiritual practice every day. And when I say every day, I mean every day. Just like we have to exercise and eat right to keep our muscles strong every day, we have to spend time every day in some form of spiritual connection. And that's why in New Thought, we teach affirmative prayer, we teach contemplation of inspirational reading, we teach many forms of meditation and journaling, because these are great practices to keep our spiritual muscles strong so that when the lifting gets heavy, we have the strength to lift whatever apparent burden is in our path. Now, I know I've listed a lot of ways that we can maintain all of these connections, but one that I haven't mentioned yet is maintaining a connection with ourselves, with our spirit, and essentially with each other through modern medicine. Now, right now, I want to give a shout out to all of us who are really struggling with anxiety, depression, and other debilitating physiological conditions. This has been an extraordinary year filled with an inordinate number of stressful events. And I want to say that for some of us, even with a strong daily spiritual practice and connection to spirit, even with the love and support of our friends, family, and health professionals, we can't seem to rise above a sense of despair, a sense of some indescribable force that makes doing even the basic tasks of life a Herculean effort. And so I remind us that Ernest Holmes said that when it comes to creating our best health, we use a pill and a prayer. He and so many other wise spiritual thinkers have told us that God created everything. And that means that spirit created medicine too. So please, if you are struggling right now, do all the things I suggested above. Spend time in your daily spiritual practice, get some exercise and sunshine, and see your doctor or other health professional to get the medical help that you need to maintain a positive outlook on life. You are here to be an expression of spirit on earth, and it's only right that you get whatever help you need to be the best expression of that spirit that you can be. I'll say it again. God is our good, and good is our God. So please now join me in leaning into a higher consciousness, to keeping the connection strong and maintaining these bridges that last. Let's go into prayer. I center my thoughts today not only on maintaining strong spiritual connections to myself, to my beloveds, and to the divine, but to healing our planet, to all the natural areas, animals, and people who have lost their lives, their homes, their livelihoods, to the devastation of the fires, the hurricanes, and the virus. I give great thanks and prayers for healing for all of the firefighters, medical personnel, and each and every person who has lent their thoughts and their actions toward giving their time, talents, and even their lives to save our lands and the lives of those with whom we are always linked. And through it all, I remember that life is continual and eternal, and that these conditions and events, even though they are devastating, out of them, I know that new life will spring forth to heal our earth, our hearts, and our minds. I am so grateful for this teaching, which leads us into a higher knowing of the truth of life, that life is for us, that all the good of God is available to us and will be ours when we accept it. I am so grateful to know that while the conditions of this human experience can be hard, they have no true power over us, for the only true power is the power of divine love. I give thanks for having the knowledge and the tools to change my life for the better and to affect a better world for everyone. And I affirm now for myself this beautiful, beautiful prayer written by Reverend Scott Aubrey. It's now showing on the banner across your screen. And so if you wish, please read it with me and affirm it for yourself. I go deeper in my livingness, spending time in the dimension of my being that is universal, embracing, and generous. In stillness, in motion, in reflection, I feel my union with infinite presence, and I am content, unrestrained, and forever grateful. And so it is. Amen.